today, Rinpoche explained that there is a difference between practitioners who engage in worldly or mundane paths and outer or otherworldly or super mundane paths. Ngapja, ngapju. Ngapju, ngapju. Data.
Ngapju.
That's good. Gongechi. 90 indicated. Okay, so we're on chapter 6 in the English, by the way. Page 91 is where we're going to begin. 550. Nipa shine la dene lan trupit su shir dembane ngapja ngapju. Go get cheat. Yeah. Nipa. Tetsuku me sarpa kashe ire. The karma chi. Just I see there's a couple new people in the. Have you been to this center before, either of you? Welcome to the Chenrezig Tibetan Buddhist Center. This is Khensur Geshe Wandak. He's the retired abbot of His Holiness the Dalai Lama's monastery Namgyal, and he holds the highest degree one can achieve in the Tibetan Buddhist Gelug tradition, which is called the Geshe Lharampa. Rinpoche is recognized by all the world's greatest scholars, including His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who sent him to the United States, as to be one. He's considered one of the greatest living masters in the Buddhist tradition by all the world's greatest scholars. So it'd be rare anywhere in the world to be able to receive a teaching from Rinpoche, and we just fortunately happen to be able to have him here every week, and this is where he's chosen to retire, even though he still continues to teach. So I know a lot of people would make aspirations to be able to just get one teaching from a teacher as qualified as Rinpoche is, but like I said, we just hit the lotto when it comes to spirituality. If you want to study Buddhism, there's really not a more qualified master that is alive who can teach that. So we're psyched about that. And my name's Jeff. I'm the translator. Right now, Rinpoche is teaching what's called the Great Treatise on the Stage of the Path to Enlightenment. It's a 3-volume series in English, I think Shambhala Publications, but in Tibetan it's just one big book that's like 700 or 800 pages long. It's considered one of the most important texts in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition because it encompasses all of the teachings that Lord Buddha ever gave. Lama Tsongkhapa uses a text called Atisha's Lamp for the Path to Enlightenment, which summarized all of Lord Buddha's teachings and showed one how to practice them in an order that made sense. So this book is a commentary that kind of expands upon how to practice. So Rinpoche is now in the 3rd volume, and at the beginning of the teaching we have those prayers we just did, and at the end of class we'll do the concluding prayers, which are just the basic rest of the prayer book, concluding mandala offering and dedication, Samantabhadra dedication, long life for Rinpoche and the Dalai Lama, and those will all be done in English. So we just read the rest of the prayer book in English. That'll be the order of events. Welcome again, and if I didn't say, my name's Jeff, and let's do this. Disa.
Tena chebe lang sha chu sa ji chembo ta shindu nyala jeba de chebe lang tela tena sa je ya ge chu o de ne bare.
So if we were to divide all of Lord Buddha's teachings into categories, we could divide them into 3 major categories. And those categories are entitled The Teachings Shared for Beings of 3 Capacities. And as a translator's note, we find this in Atisha's Lamp, where we find this first presentation of the 3 capacities of beings. So the first categories of teachings are called the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity. These are teachings for beings who wish to achieve a higher realm rebirth in their next lives. So this practitioner engages in the practice of going for refuge to the three jewels, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and engaging in ethical behavior which abandons the 10 non-virtuous activities, and then acknowledging one's downfalls as a note if one has wavered or engaged in negativity. And in dependence upon these practices, this practitioner is able to achieve rebirth in the higher realms of the gods and humans in their next life. The next category of teaching are the teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity, and these teachings are for practitioners who wish to achieve nirvana, wish to achieve their own individual liberation. And this practitioner engages in the three highest higher trainings, the highest higher training in ethics, highest higher training in concentration, and the highest higher training in wisdom. And in dependence upon these three highest higher trainings, the practitioner is able to achieve his or her own individual nirvana, or liberation. And the final category of teachings are the teachings for beings of great capacity, and these teachings are for practitioners who wish to achieve complete Buddhahood. And this practitioner engages in all teachings mentioned, practices mentioned, and then couples them with the generation of the mind that aspires to enlightenment, or bodhicitta, and then from that generation engages in the 6 perfections. The practitioner practices the 6 perfections, and in dependence upon those practices, he or she becomes a Buddha. So this is how we would categorize the teachings of Lord Buddha if we were to try to simplify them into 3 major headings. Disa.
Jawa Shawa Shena Danda Yi Dingen Jula Jebane Nyomo Banjumbi Laton Chibi Shere Yimbe Tela Tene Laton Machina Dingen Tela Jazan Kumba Shejan Debi Kanji Nyomo Najan Mo Manuna Nyomo Ba Tanji Pon Taji Tamhajan Chigu Te Shere Laton Gumba Shaguzo, Tean, Nyamon Gonjoa, Pombe, Jidenbi Lanchi, Drebe, Laton Dan, Nyamonji Sabin Tawane, Pombe, Jiden Debi, Lanchi, Drebe, Latoni Le Jenbi Lang, Konto, Droto Mede, Nyasale, Detar Yila Sheba, Tobi, Nanjuba Ponyu, Gawa chung la shuba ti konto droba shawa ne jeme de ni kona se de ni ganshe na dada de jiden bi dan jiden de bi deba wo she son so de shene san yila sheba de jiden bi lanji laton ngan jiden de bi Lanji, Drebi, Laton, Kan, Goyan, the Gumban Deba de Ha to be Chine, Tela, Lamont, Gumba Shell, the Terror, Gumbana, Shinto, Jambadan, Saint Tijiba, Shinto, Paging, Shinete, and Shinto Temba Joro, Jen, Shene Laton Ge Sama Nalayan, Kebashela, Ti Wodo, Lani Kaya, Royu, Lani Kaya Royu, Dodoba Tela, Tombashi de Nyasale Tela, Le Tombu, Nanjuba, Yila Shepatan, Cheba Tene, Jiden Bawan, Jiden Lendebi, Droba Shao Nyane, Yila Shebatini, Lamont Shedo, Jitar, Lamont Shebat, Eda, Nisente Nanta, Debi Wodo, 신도 장바다 센지지바 니데 페이지 제바다 야반요로 대 양가대체 일하시바데 셰다 땡라 사와 메바 용소 다발라 메베 조바 요반요 당신에다 라동기 수 참만나자 용소 셈바 저디체 tenjidebe lama jiden debe la gangi doba dala yuwa zomba shede she son so dala jidebe la dongi sa woma la raba na sa goma la shawa shera naba jenji gomo jiden debe la don nyesa le somba ne denji la madaba chuduki 나바제도 공 다유 공대 주 강자게 다음에 또비 따와고 대대랑 하시비 신의 일하셔 토바 대체 델란지는 데비 사도 먼저 지된래 지된을 하지 누유라지 제가 여번에 예살래 델라 가나 대체 달라 지데베 랑코나 로신 지데레 데베 라제 지데레 데베 라제 마이베 가자도 여제나 해봐 이제데 데다데 들레 시르바 타제나 춘데바 이야 신네 Abbot 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 Noya Getawa Otabat Galeji Juna.
Sabudu. Gewet Sawa Kason. Yabudu. Gewet Sawa Yonsu Mimba.
Getawa Yonsu Mimba Shaju Samba.
Yeah, there's Jik.
Shemala, Shaju Samba, Shemala, Shaju Samba. Shaju Toban Deji, Sindela. Mayimba de Sheson Bisharos.
Yabudu. The ka. Tuchena. The Jikten la tepi the Papa Yingu.
Jiden dan Jiden Basana Palan Matuba de Jiden Ba.
Lessa.
Palan Tuba Yenshitra Papa Lorova.
Then the Lam, the Khensur Rinpoche, the Jikten dan Jikten.
Jiden belongs in the Tola Matubi Landela Jiden belong. Jiden de belongs in the Tola Golam Malula. The Sajik Land to Jiden de belong Marva.
Ale. Then the Jikten tepi long, the Tonlam Yingu. Okay, ale. Okay. Tuche. All right. So just so we begin on page 91, and just as anyone who's new, the outline at the top isn't part of the text. It's something that's added. I think it's actually a secondary text that is the actual outline. But this isn't part of the actual Lamrim Chenmo. This is added. So, 2, a general presentation of the way to proceed along the path on the basis of meditative serenity. Question: should you simply sustain a non-discursive awareness characterized by clarity, non-discursiveness, etc., by achieving attention entailing non-discursive concentration as explained previously? Reply: producing such concentration in your mind stream is for the purpose of generating insight that overcomes afflictions. Hence, if you do not generate insight on the basis of this concentration, you will be unable to eliminate even the afflictions of the desire realm, no matter how much you grow accustomed to that concentration. In that case, what need is there even to mention eliminating all afflictions? Therefore, cultivate insight. Furthermore, there are 2 kinds of insight. The insight proceeding by the mundane path, which eliminates manifest afflictions, and the insight proceeding by the supermundane path, which eradicates the seeds of the afflictions. There is no means of proceeding on a higher path other than these 2. Asanga Shravaka level states, thus the yogi who has achieved attention, has entered the small delight of elimination of afflictions, has 2 ways to progress, and no others. What are these 2? They are mundane and supermundane. Therefore, one who has achieved meditative serenity or attention may cultivate either the insight of the mundane path or the insight that proceeds by the supermundane path. Whichever you wish to cultivate, you must frequently cultivate the serenity achieved previously, and when you practice in this way, pliancy and mental one-pointedness greatly increase, and serenity also becomes more stable. Moreover, you become knowledgeable about the signs of serenity and insight, and therefore you strive at whichever of the two paths you want. The Shravaka levels. Let's go. This relates to the question I asked. I want to see something here. Let's go. Then jikten la tepi lang papa yengo.
Order.
Yene the gender gogomare the jikten belong papa yin mayengo yin mago.
Jidem belong suju lang.
Suju yin bichap.
Sure.
Chop, okay. Then they the garshane de ditar gombana shintu jamba dang semche the semti chikpa de shintu peshing shine de yang shintu demba joro shinyang Shilagi sema namla yanke like Garyena digsung. Yene papa yomari then kandre. De puik the ngapcha ngapchu. My question is this. What I asked Rinpoche about was this mundane path versus super mundane path. And the mundane path is necessarily an ordinary being's path, one who's not an Arya yet. And the super mundane path is one who is already a superior, one who is already an Arya. So my question is therefore you strive at whichever of the paths you want, but if you're not an Arya, you can't do that. So that's where I'm hung up right now. Is it English terminology or what? So I'm sorry, I just have to figure this out. That's
Adobe Chanel la modo gomba sheba Chanel zda sensi to never the Chanel logro Chanel. Ladon sona cheba shebi shiro shila ne ladon logro. Tedra Chanel san ila sheba to ba de jine be lanje ladon ga jine le debe lanje droba ladon ga goyan. The gomba de ba de nga to be Shene de la Lama to Gomba Shela, Tedder Gomba na, Shindo Jamba na, Sensitive Shindo, Patient Shene de, Tean Shindo, Temba Joros, Shene or the
dupa Garyena, the Susu Julangu Digsong Susu, the Papalan, the Injicate get debts can sabudu, Gangin Suna, the dopa. The Garyena digsong, the Jikten Lango digsong, Jikten Tepi Lang digsong, Dopa, the Injike, the Inpuik, the Yoruba, the Dopa, the
Chiba.
The Ne, the Yene, the Dopa, Papa Mayemba, then Dopa Yuna Mena Keomare. Gutsusun, ke.
Papa Mayemba la Tuba Made, Tome Yomaro. Tome Ngosum to be. Or Papa Mayeva to me Michito to Tumero.
I think it's just the terminology. I think it's really whichever you can, or your desire, but based on whatever your aptitude is. So I think that I don't want to get hung up too long on it, but that's what it seems like, where it says you strive at whichever two paths you want. Meaning like I'm aspiring, it just basically means like it doesn't really want this. It implies in the English here that you can just choose, but it's based on realizations that actually allow you. So I'd have to look way too far to take the time of this, but you really can't choose this. The way that it's written here is a little bit strange. But the word for what you desire is in the English, in the Tibetan here. Nga dopi shine de la len mangdu gomba jela de gare.
Ha tu be shine de la shine sana sen tseji tu ba ne de shine la urwa. Shine de la le modo shine la sana mo tang wo res gomba jela. Tetra gomba na shin de jamba na tseji ba de shin do pe shin shine ya tenpa juru shine tenpa chagres yen shilagi
Okay.
tsama nala shilagi tsama nala yang keba shilati wodo lani kaya rong yu ruwa deba tela tsomba de nyesa le te le tombo yu nenju ba yila sheba dan jeba tene.
Okay. Yeah.
Da jiten len debi doba shao nyane ila sheba teni le modo shedo cheta le modo sheba teta nisen teta debi te shindo jamba dan sen jiba te peshin jeba yang joro yang ti tse ila sheba tan shin ten la sawa meba yonsu tabala meba joban jowa tan shine tan la tongi shuji tsema na chan yonsu simba jowa ti tse ten jiten bi lama jiten lende bi lama kanki Ruwa deba tela
The dopa yanje.
sowa sheba te she son so tela
Okay,
jiten
Rinpoche, the ngama chiran de kanga loso.
ya
The nge triwa. The yanje de yure the dopa. The garishine the dopa. Papa yengu. Dopa yomare. The gari yena digsong. The she song. The data yen. The jiktempi lam. Mom jikten letepi lang gangi dropar dopa. Yine papa mayimba dopa yuna the drogomare.
ne
The data yen. Ngatsu nge triwa the jikten lam de jikten pi lamam jikten letepi lang gangi drobar dopa.
jiten be lan sana susu chu lan re
Lesso.
jiten be lan ina susu chu lan mi chao jiten de be lan ina phalang mi chao
Lesso. Then the lam gangi droar dopa.
na ga gen do ne
The gangi droar dopa.
ga do ba sirba
Dopa. Then ngay chiwa the dopa. Gangin sene the dopa nga New York la drogo. Then the dopa the dro tugudu gangin sene nga mota yure. Yene nga jikten la tepi lan droguna dopa yuna yene papa mayemba dro tugumare gangin sene nga papa yomare. Dopa yuna the ngay chiwa. Gangin sene tanda nge dopa New York la dro dopa yuna nge dro tugudu gangin sene mota. Yene jikten la tepi la dopa drona de dro tugumare gangin sene nga papa yomare.
jiten de be lan la ten sa ji sal do ro
Lesso.
jiten be lan la ten ne wo de susu chu sal ma do to maro wo de chabaro
Ale. Dene the jikten la tepi lan dopa susuju digsong. Yene nyamlen papa yengu.
ya
Okay. So one can have the desire to. So Rinpoche is saying there's another way to look at it, that the mundane path does not lead to Buddhahood. It just leads to worldly effects at an ultimate level, whereas the supermundane path necessarily leads to complete Buddhahood. And the supermundane path is an Arya path. You do need to be an Arya to be on that path, but you can have the desire to be on that path as an ordinary being. So that's where the choice is. So that's the clarification. Because Rinpoche, I'll reread what he read. Moreover, therefore, one who has achieved meditative serenity, and then I'll go back to where I was and finish reading. Therefore, one who has achieved that might be the same place. One who has achieved meditative serenity or attention may cultivate either the insight of the mundane path or the insight that proceeds by the supermundane path. Whichever you wish to cultivate, you must frequently cultivate the serenity achieved previously. And when you practice in this way, pliancy and mental one-pointedness greatly increase, and serenity also becomes more stable. Moreover, you become more knowledgeable about the signs of serenity and insight, and therefore you strive at whichever of the two paths you want, the ordinary being's path or the Arya's path. The Shravaka's levels. In regard to this, the novice yogis who are endowed with attention reflect, I shall proceed by either the mundane or the supermundane path, and they frequently apply themselves to this attention. Commensurate with how much they pass the days and nights in frequent practice, their pliancy and mental one-pointedness increase, expand, and are broadened. When their attention becomes firm, stable, and solid, when it engages pure objects at will, and when it is imbued with the signs associated with serenity and insight, at that time they strive at their practice along the mundane or the supermundane path, whichever they wish to follow. So that's the clarification. Maybe I was the only one who needed it. Is that where did I end reading before? Is that where I ended reading?
You ended at Shravaka levels, and then you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so perfect. So one can. The reason for this is that one can, as a non-Buddhist, achieve serenities and so forth. Right here we see it. We will see it, that one as a non-Buddhist can achieve this. So that's why the choice is there. There can be a yogi that's not a Buddhist. So that's where the clarification is that this can apply. Meditation doesn't just apply to Buddhists, but it specifically becomes, when we're talking of super mundane path, it's necessarily a path that leads to a Buddhist result. Okay. Mundane insight consists of meditation bearing the aspects of calmness and coarseness, in which you observe the coarseness of the lower levels and the calmness of the higher levels. Supermundane insight, as stated in the Shravaka levels, consists of meditation which observes the 16 aspects of the Four Noble Truths, including impermanence and so on. Principally, you cultivate the view which is the knowledge of selflessness of the person. Question: what kind of person achieves the attention of serenity explained previously and does not proceed by the supermundane path in that lifetime, but proceeds by the mundane path? The Shravaka level states that persons proceed in this life solely by the mundane path and not by the supermundane path. They are the following four types of persons: all those who are not Buddhists, those who adhere to this Buddhist teaching but have not practiced serenity well and are of dull faculties. Similarly, those who are of rare, sharp faculties, but whose roots of virtue have not matured, and bodhisattvas who wish to achieve enlightenment in the future, but not in this life. So it shows the categories of those who might choose to not practice the supermundane path. In regard, let me just see, I think that's where Rinpoche might have stopped there. Sawa. Okay. Yon Minba.
Tata shene sang, shene ila sheba, te jine be lanche laton.
Nap Yomare. Jiran Kanga Losum.
Ya.
De Zison She Song. So
Ala,
de la Chero.
Tala shure be nanju ba nga sheba tara shene to ba tanje ne kanza ki dame susu to be shero je chene chungwa me de tada dame bala me be shero ti shero yana shene matuba tadan shi chungla yana shene raba, shene raji naba, shiraji naba jinji, latung gomba zang shebe, jidenbe lang kone rowu. Chundaba sanjiba yin yang, shene ji gong zang shi la, gomba shi chir tenbe, ombu tubu yina ne, susu tubi shiro ji, dame bi dun la, ji ne, gomba la, maga wang, ga yang, dame bi dun, kumenu bi, ti tse, tala, ji tenbe lang kone, roa yin te, yang na, ne chak, kona chungwa she la, yang na, shira ji naba jin, latung zang shi, gombe shiro, naba, sanjiba, onu dame bi, te kona ni kondu chu jang, deba ngosung tu tubi, gaza mami ba, ina, ti zi tala, jiden bi, same ji, palang ji menu bi, jiden bi lang kona, roa shayi, dame ba la, mi bi, latung gomba, menu ba meno, shansen, Jawa la, Jawa jiki tuba yang, seba tama ba Jawa shimi tu ter, julan ne zonde, lan je, jula, jeji, Jawa jiki tubi, tuzo, palang mejebi ti tse, mejebi tse, tela jitenbi lan ji, roa shayi, dame bi dun, maduba meno, dene zule, dun de sero shangchu ba, santen taten chila kun, tena ngoto, ta chadun, she somba tan tunba, teme ji, yungi, chang jaju, yin chi, lume baba tume rangi, jeba meno. Tetana shiruba shene jinaba, shira jinaba jinji lang gongne, nyumaba ngonjo wa pongba dan, namba sanjeba, dame bituna gonne, nyumaba tsawa ne, pongwa kaan yin yang, toma nga shebi, shene tingan zinte, to gobe, nga shebi shene, tene, shenang nyegi, nanjo bachi nyumobe, pongyu, zhigula, temazi, tijen batang, teme nyeji, nanjo ba kanki jan tingan zite, ru gujin, tijen bayang, nga tang, paru de shimbi, nanjo ba, tangji je jang, shene, ru gube, shene, dene, nanjo ba tangji je lang drubi, jere shinto kecho, nga ji rung na ne, shebi shene tang, latung kola mi ne, mi ba wang, sha chen na, yege la soba la mi ne, nyungwa la soba, mi bi chebar, jebi tanga ji, ki cheba matu tengen zi shi, chunglu lelo la sobi, nga pong goba tang, teta ki nyepo tenpa tang shijin la soba tenchu tene, sen goba toba tang tele, shijang jewa la soba tangji tomo yinbe, tengen tene, shinto jachewa yino tela gongne, dodo gondele, teba chechung ki tengen tangji, shene tengan zi dowa sombe tengan zi tala keba doba shene shela nyega la keba shao. Tenda yu tengan zi te shene ji yeji te jebi guba shinto yang zu guba latung ki doba jebi che yin la latung.
La
Latung la yang, nyomo ba ngonjo wa tang shi pong yu, Shiraji Nabajin Shuribatan Naba Tumoatan Nabi Tiba Tumoa Laton Shinetan Laton Yomoba Sabentene Ponyu Damebe Tokonaniji Nabajin Laton Naba Sanjiba Kuni Chiju Joba Ni Yobale Hamane Person Subi Yola Inji Ne Me Moro Mela Shimane Med Moro Yimbe Yola Yimbe Nandu Tantunye Nandu Tantunye Damebe Tokonani Kondo Chubi Laton Jeba Shawo Teyan Detebe Ngasheba Tajine Santen Shene Santen Tombi Nyadu Jidubi Shene Tuna Temenche Jitingen Santen Na Zumenche Shene Matu Jan Tela Tene Laton Gomba Kui Chiwan Tada Le Jo Tabatuba Nula Dame Bete Konani Matushin Matushin Magona Mashibi Shinetan Telatene Jidenbi Laton Ki Cheyan Meba Menshije Yomoba Ngonjo Tanji Siji Sen Tojan Kuale Matayu Shiro Ya
Selvudu Susujulam.
Ya
Oh, okay. I've got to do this part too. Hold on one sec, everybody. Siktama?
Tatayang
Detayang
Tatayang
Shepala. Okay.
Ya Tatayang Hayu Ngatuji
Okay, decent.
Ya
Kanga lo decent.
Tatayang Hayu Ngatuji Le Maduba Tobale Chuji Chula Mashubi Chu Temo Ke Domba Siji Pado Sonaya Dungayan Sebadu Chuji Tenle Shejubi Santen Maji Matu Jan Duji Mede Tajinto Sebadana Tobanjoro Shesonzos Tena Junjo Dan Shongi Lantaji Pabi Lantobi Laton Ki Tento Jubi Shine Mashibi Shine Santen Tambu Nyado Jidubi Duba Yela Tejinto Chichayu Dajomba Tanje Jan Mashibi Shine Tela Nene Laton Gombe Dajomba Toba Kona Yimbe Sheba Shawu Mashibi Shine Dingen Jin Yula Yudo Matuna Chedang Jinyeba Chenbe Laton Ki Toba Tangwajine Chemesiba Wodo Tomba Joro Teisher Nanjuba Lana Mebi Nanjube Jan Shiraji Nabaji Jinyeba Maybe Laton Tang Te Dube Shine Majejan Shine Shi Jegu de Teyan Toma Jebi Tsemane Jebi Rimba Dube Rimba Niji Rimba Tambi Kausu Jewa Yino Do Duna Kwandu Shine Shi Jena Tene Tela Tene Shiraji Nabajin Laton Ki Sisi Bado Lanyan Rinjendo Dreba Tang Dameba Kuni Nabajin Laton Ki Tabang Tanji Chenbi Lang Nga Dreba Ne Jayu Tenba Shi Shaji Taba Yimbe Nanjuba Gangi Jang Dawa Shawa Mayino She Shawa Ne Shenela tene ne kondo doba shiten ba was.
Yabotu.
Yeah.
The Yabuka. Okay. In that regard, all non-Buddhist yogis who have achieved the meditative serenity explained earlier do not use discerning wisdom to sustain an analysis of the selflessness of person, for they are not drawn to selflessness. Therefore, they either sustain non-discursive meditative serenity alone, or they cultivate just the insight bearing the aspects of calmness and coarseness. In this way, they proceed solely by the mundane path. If you are a practitioner of this teaching, a Buddhist, but have dull faculties and have previously been habituated to the stabilizing meditation of serenity alone, you will not be interested in meditation which investigates the meaning of selflessness with discerning wisdom. Or even if you are interested, due to an inability to understand the meaning of selflessness, you will proceed in this life solely by the mundane path. This is because you either sustain the stability of serenity alone, or you cultivate just the insight bearing the aspects of calmness and coarseness. Even if you are a Buddhist of sharp faculties who has comprehended the meaning of selflessness, if your roots of virtue for perceptually knowing the truth have not matured in this life, you will still be unable to generate the supermundane path, undefiled noble path. In this case, it is said that you will proceed by the mundane path alone, but not that you are unable to cultivate insight focused on selflessness. Consider bodhisattvas who are bound to one more birth before Buddhahood, and who during their next lifetime, their final rebirth in cyclic existence, will produce in their mind streams the four paths, beginning with the path of preparation. While they are still bound to one more birth, they are unable to generate the noble path, so it is said that in this lifetime they proceed by the mundane path, but not that they fail to know the meaning of selflessness. Vasubandhu's Treasury of Knowledge, the Abhidharma Kosha, states, "For our teacher and the rhinoceros-like Pratyeka Buddhas, all paths from preparation to enlightenment are on the one last meditative stabilization. Prior to that are the aids to liberation, the path of accumulation." This accords with the way of achieving Buddhahood taught in Hinayana treatises, but is not the Mahayana interpretation of the noble master Asanga. Therefore, non-Buddhists who eliminate manifest afflictions by meditating on the path bearing the aspects of calmness and coarseness, as well as Buddhists who radically eliminate afflictions by meditating on the meaning of selflessness, must first of all achieve the concentration of meditative serenity explained earlier. So the serenity explained above is needed by non-Buddhist and Buddhist yogis as the basis for eliminating afflictions. Furthermore, yogis of either the Mahayana or the Hinayana must also achieve this concentration. And even among the Mahayana practitioners, all yogis of both the mantra and perfection vehicles must also achieve meditative serenity. So this serenity is extremely important as the basis is for proceeding along the paths of all yogis. Moreover, the serenity explained in the tantric text contains certain differences in methods for generating concentration in objects of meditation, such as focusing on a divine form, on hand implements of the chosen deity, or on syllables. But apart from those, they are entirely alike in terms of the need to eliminate the 5 faults of concentration, including laziness and so on, and in terms of the means of cultivating their antidotes, such as mindfulness and vigilance and so on, and in terms of the achievement of the 9 mental states and the ensuing occurrence of pliancy, etc. So this concentration is very widespread. With this in mind, the sutra unraveling the intended meaning states that all Mahayana and Hinayana concentrations are included within the concentrations of serenity and insight. Thus, you who wish to be skilled in concentration should become skilled in insight and serenity. Although there are many purposes for developing this concentration, the attention of serenity, the chief purpose is for the sake of developing the knowledge of insight. Moreover, in terms of insight, there are 2 kinds. That which bears the aspects of calmness and coarseness, which eliminates only manifest afflictions, and which is common to Buddhists and non-Buddhists, and that which is common to Buddhists, both Mahayana practitioners and Hinayana practitioners, that is, insight bearing the aspect of reality of selflessness, which utterly eliminates the seeds of the afflictions. This last is a unique quality of Buddhists. The former is a luxury, not something indispensable, while the latter is an indispensable element. So those aspiring for freedom should produce the insight that comprehends the reality of selflessness. Furthermore, even if you do not achieve the higher meditative stabilizations of the form realm or the meditative absorptions of the formless realm, but do achieve the serenity explained previously, which is included in the level of access to the first meditative stabilization, then you can achieve liberation, freedom from all the fetters of cyclic existence, by cultivating insight based on serenity. By means of mundane insight developed on the basis of serenity explained earlier, you can achieve the mind peak of cyclic existence, which has eliminated all the manifest afflictions of the formless level of nothingness and below. So just as a translator's note, a lot of words there. That should be the last, within the path of preparation. There's heat, peak, patience, and last mundane state of existence. So this is referring to, I think if we look in the footnotes, hold on, we'll find... The peak of cyclic existence is the highest of the four meditative absorptions in the formless realm, also called neither discrimination nor non-discrimination. Rinpoche, I just want to make sure. Of course, it's embedded in there. Nice and good. 550. Mind of the peak of existence. The Zukan Zumekam Gom, the Jikden Hlatong, that's good, not true, right? It's going to change. That's the law. Dene Hlatam Gomo Koi Chim Dada Jikden Vilatam Chiameb Yomon Pami Sender Gorma. I'll find it after. I don't want to waste too much time on that. I want to ask about that because there's the peak of existence is one of the is the second level of the path of preparation. So I want to see if that's referring, because that's also a mundane path. It's not a super mundane path. So once we get to question and answer, I'll dig into this a little bit further. I just want to read to where Rinpoche is. But if you do not know the reality of selflessness and meditate upon it, you will not be liberated from cyclic existence. Jemang Chuaja. Thus, Machaketa's praise that falls short, praise in honor of the one worthy of honor, says, those opposed to your teaching are blinded by delusion. Even after venturing to the peak of existence, suffering occurs again and cyclic existence is maintained. Those who follow your teaching, even if they do not achieve actual meditative stabilization, turn away from cyclic existence while under the steady gaze of Mara. There it is again. Let's see something here. The Rinpoche, the Sipit Se, Dang Julam, the Me Se Zupa, the Julam Ewa Je, the Tse Dan the Tse Kakare, the Julam.
Yulan Zemo Zeba Chuchu Jiro.
The Tse, Zemo, the Nipa the Minga Yanjer Surinam.
Yulan Zemo.
Zemo, the Zemo. Then the Zemo Dan the Sitse Ze Kakare.
Zemo Tuba Zama Chisa Gi.
Zumekam? Ale, the Zumekam Samten?
Gi Machibi Zemo Yizan, Zemos. gaza chi gaza me chi zema yizang zema yong zhe zuba chu zema segro gaza me chi zema yizang zema.
Okay. Then de dang the samten kakare. Okay, so even though they're the same words, the meaning is different actually. So the peak here is specifically referring to the highest form of cyclic existence, the peak of cyclic existence. It's in the, let's say the Zumekam? It's a, the Geshe Si Sitse.
Sitse zemare. Sibi zema nakata nashita jame sitse.
Sitse je. Zumekam.
Tamadro.
Zumekam Tama? Okay, so this is referring to the final level of the formless realm. It's the peak of cyclic existence. So when we look at the levels of the formless realm, hold on, I think I have it delineated here. The form and formless realm can be divided into categories, and this is, so we have peak, nothingness, limitless consciousness, and limitless space. So the fourth concentration level is called peak. I did it in the wrong order, but it's first limitless space, then limitless consciousness, then nothingness, then peak. So that's the highest realm of the formless realm, which is peak. So that's what this is referring to, the highest realm, the peak of cyclic existence, whereas the peak that I was just talking about is one of the categories of the path of preparation. And Rinpoche said that when you look at the path of preparation, there are four categories: heat, peak, patience, and last mundane state of existence. So that peak is different than this peak. Just this, even though the words are the same, they don't mean the same thing. So I'm glad I got that clarification because I misspoke. And that you can see how you have to really know the intended meaning, and because just the same exact word, which is embedded in something that, if even the meaning is fine with it, because that path of preparation is a mundane path. So then if you interpret it as that, it doesn't really look like anything's going wrong, and that's why you need the teacher for clarification. So just another instance where the importance of the teacher, because everything isn't what it always seems. Okay, so the praise of the honor of the one worthy, I'm going to reread this. Those opposed to your teaching are blinded by delusion. Even after venturing to the peak of cyclic existence, suffering occurs again and cyclic existence is maintained. Those who follow your teaching, even though they do not achieve actual meditative stabilizations, turn away from cyclic existence while under the steady gaze of the eyes of Mara. Therefore, the meditative serenity that serves as the basis for the insight that achieves the noble paths of all stream enterers and once returners is the serenity explained earlier, which is included in the access to the first meditative stabilization. Similarly, know that all arhats who simultaneously eliminate the afflictions become arhats by cultivating insight on the basis of meditative serenity explained earlier. If you do not first establish your mind stream, the concentration of serenity explained previously is not possible for the actual knowledge of insight, which is focused on either the real nature of diversity of phenomenon, to arise. This will be discussed later on. Therefore, while yogis in the highest yoga tantra tradition may not develop the insight bearing the aspects of calmness and coarseness, which focuses on the diversity of all phenomena, or the serenity generated by this insight, they must develop serenity. Moreover, the point at which serenity first arises in terms of the stage of generation, the stage of completion, is during the first of these two. In summary, you must first develop serenity, and then on this basis you may proceed on a graduated path up to the peak of cyclic existence by the means of insight bearing the aspects of calmness and coarseness, or you may proceed along the five paths of liberation and omniscience by means of insight bearing the aspect of reality of selflessness. This constitutes the general seal of the Conqueror's teaching, so no yogi can depart from it. The proceeding is a general presentation of the way to proceed from high to higher paths on the basis of meditative serenity. And again, just remember, everyone, this is one of the most complex parts of this text. So if it's confusing to you, it's confusing to great masters as well. Be sure of that. Nge de becha de shine dang la tong sheda kali kapudu le labo yo mare then geshe kali kapudu then the kepa becha de shine dang ha tong Chenmo the becha kepa kali kapudu le labo yo mare nga de las. I was saying to them that even somebody who is a geshe, even somebody who's a great scholar, would find this section of this text to be quite difficult. So just realize that as we read this, that these are not simple topics that you're just going to kind of absorb and get the meaning of in a week or two or three. This is the concluding material where the pinnacle of wisdom is being presented. Okay, Rinpoche, Digsong. The Triwa de Moa. Rinpoche thinks maybe question and answer now. Tu chena. Gangesena de injike tsik chipa ditse. Then konsa de jikten lam. Then de julam jikten lam. Julam.
Yes.
Set solan julang tonla. Julam jikten lam. Then natsut sampa de chipa.
Yeah.
Then trugudu. Tu chena. Selpo shason.
Yeah.
I was saying that the words are so hard sometimes because they can make you misinterpret something. And I was just explaining what happened. How in the English it's the same word. Questions?
Yes. There's two words, and I'm looking for the meaning.
Okay.
And the two words that seemed to pop up was insight.
Okay.
And to me, insight is looking within yourself.
Okay.
And within that is the looking within, is looking at the mind. And
Okay.
there's another question with looking at the mind with the afflictions. And in that there's two questions. Is the inflictions in the mind or are they in the body?
Okay.
That's one question. And then the other word is mundane. And
Worldly, it could also be translated as worldly.
mundane
Yes.
is worldly.
It can be translated as worldly. Sometimes they choose the word worldly. It's jikten. Jikten is worldly, of this world. And then jikten tepa, which they're translating as super mundane, means out of this world. So they're using mundane and super mundane, but literally it means worldly, out of this world.
Okay, that's the next. I think there's an answer there. It's because in English, mundane is dull, lacking excitement, tedious, tiresome.
Yes.
These are definitions in English, but I think the word in Tibet is different.
That's
And
why I
so
keep stressing over and over again that when we look at the lexicon of Tibetan that we use for Tibetan Buddhism, you really have to define the words as they're defined within this context in order to understand it. As English readers, we want to be able to pick up any book, read it, use what we think all those words normally mean, and then understand it. And unfortunately, and great translators all debate on how to do this, that's not how Tibetan Buddhism really is written. So we have to find words that kind of link, that kind of make sense to, and then define that word. So in this case, they've chosen mundane. Now, it doesn't mean dull. It means worldly. So you have to know that by studying the lexicon of the Tibetan Buddhism. Some translators make up totally different words that don't even exist, like Hopkins, for instance. He'll make up a word that isn't even really a word that we use, and then that'll be the word for that. And he does that because when you look at the Tibetan language, a Tibetan, just an educated Tibetan, could not read a book on Buddhism, even though it's written in their language, because they'd run into this same thing where the word defined in the Buddhist context doesn't mean the same thing as it does when you're just talking ordinary language.
Okay.
So the translator's trouble is, do we just make up all different words, or do we use words we're familiar with, but those familiar words mean something very specific in this context? So that's what we're running into. It's not that, and from the Tibetan side, you'll see the same thing, because a Tibetan, just regular ordinary Tibetan, could not read this book and understand it. There's no way, not a chance. They couldn't sit in this teaching and understand Rinpoche's words other than, bits and pieces, but the real pith of the meaning of what Rinpoche would be teaching if he taught the Four Noble Truths, they would not know the meaning of the words that were being said. So it's really the task of studying, refining, and then I use the word worldly. I like the word worldly better when I translate.
That makes more sense.
Because this Jikten is the world we're in. Jikten. This is a Jikten. This is our world.
That's the Tibetan word? Jikten?
Yeah, Jikten. And Jikten La Tepe means beyond. So beyond world. So worldly or beyond world. But they've chosen mundane or super mundane. So it's just English stuff. So let me start with your question.
Okay.
Rinpoche, the kontriwa hil hwatong, the dondagare, sherapyengu, gangen sena the injit sik insight. Insight salodana, the nga sem nangla the da, nga me yapo yomare, nga ninjepo yomare, the injikate sik. Yene the data yomare. Then hatong dondagare. Sherapyengu?
Hatong shero.
That's it.
Yula jeba sheba hatong.
Okay, so going back to your original question, when we're looking at the word special insight is necessarily a wisdom. So we start there. When we look at the word special insight, it's a wisdom, and a specific kind of wisdom. Then the Sherap Gariyana Rinpoche.
Shero that yul jeba shero jiro iji shero. Wanshi dan sheni gana yeshi kotu shero madu wanshi le yojimare.
So this is a wisdom that is produced in the mental consciousness. It's not a wisdom that is produced somewhere else. So it's necessarily, I'm going to get a wisdom. Rinpoche defined it too. Just give me one moment. It's necessarily a wisdom the Hlatung Shine Yingu Rinpoche?
Hlatung Shine Sumare. Shiro.
Dene the Hlatung Yuna Shine Yubicha? Cha. Okay, so special insight is a wisdom that is a special kind of wisdom that is united with calm abiding. So you have this, it's defined as a wisdom of thorough discrimination of phenomena conjoined with special pliancy induced by the power of analysis. So that's how it's defined. So if you look at the raw definition of that word, special insight, once again, it's got to be defined according to this context. It doesn't have to do with insight about ourselves or looking into it. It has to do with a very specific topic. And it's the topic of a wisdom of thorough discrimination of phenomena. So it's that kind of wisdom, the wisdom that understands truly what phenomena is, that it's not truly established, the nature of reality. So it's that kind of wisdom.
Okay. You have to have that with Shine. You have to go.
You have to have calm abiding.
You have to have Shine. You have to have Shine, and Shine then opens.
You combine with wisdom, and then produce special insight.
Okay.
And now the afflictions, are they in the mind or the body? That was your other question, right?
Yeah.
Then Nyonmong, Semlacha, sukpo la sha.
뭐 이지해 버려요.
So the mental consciousness is where the afflictions are, not the body. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Thank you.
A lot of times it's just the English term that we use, and it's got so many meanings that we carry with it that it becomes difficult. And then we try to bring everything that, because of course that's all we have is what our previous knowledge is what we bring in here. And then we put whatever our previous knowledge related to that word is, and we give it meaning that maybe isn't the meaning that it has. Like, and especially like when they use the word sin. There's people in this room that I just said that word and they went, ugh, cringed because of some kind of upbringing or, so the words have a lot of power and don't always mean the same thing that you think they normally would. So that's why you have to study them within the context.
Could you just clarify something you were talking about last week? You were talking about energy and, not the PG&E energy or whatever the, Eversource energy versus the wind. Like, how do Buddhists describe kind of the underlying energy of what is made into form, that is going through this dependent origination? What is that underlying essence? Essence is a bad word because it implies something intrinsic.
Yeah, they don't give it anything. They say just parts that come together. There is no essence or energy. They just say it's a collection. Dependent origination.
Collection of what?
They don't get scientific like that. It's just a collection of parts that have parts. Atoms, they say use the word atom in the Abhidharma.
Atom.
Yeah. The ngatsu sukpo, the dendel, the paba dang ama dang paba the mambo, the ngatsu sukpo yure. Yene the nguju the ngatsu sukpo the du. The zu the yure the du mambo nyamdu dene sukpo yure dene the nampa du kelengdu. So the Buddhists assert atoms,
but not
particles, atoms. They would assert atoms come together.
Do they exist on some kind of?
I don't know if they're the same. I don't want to say though
intrinsic.
that they're the same atom that you're. Their word for atom
Yeah.
is in the Abhidharma, and they say that there are these particles that when the right particles come together, then there's a Jeff standing there.
Okay.
And the right particles come together, then there's a cow there that can be named as a cow, some dependent origination. Now, there's a lot of causes and conditions that are infinite taking place to make that into a cow, those particles into a cow. But Buddhism just calls them atoms.
But there's nothing that's dependently causing an atom to be in existence?
A previous moment of atom.
But there is always an
A previous
essential.
previous moment. That's why we have beginningless in Buddhism, because you can't find first logically. So Buddha never asserts first because there's no logic to first. It has to be previous moment. Consciousness can't have a non-consciousness arisal. It has to come from a previous consciousness. Some non-consciousness can't suddenly cause consciousness. So Buddhism says that based on that, how can you find beginning? So Buddhism doesn't say, Buddhism just says logically you can't find it, so we don't assert it. That's all. Buddhism leaves it like anything illogical is left as non-asserted. You know what I mean?
Good morning. Thank you. I wanted to ask, and I don't know if he has an answer for this, is there a group that can be considered one that lacks capacity of knowing and or understanding of virtue?
Is there a group? What do you mean?
Yeah, like a group of people
Is there a kind of person who,
who lacks capacity of knowing and or of understanding virtue, therefore cannot.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. If they have an obscuration or they have they have karma that won't allow them to know. They make the Kong Triwa, make Kashe the Wang Du me kashe Wang Nu. The Wang Du Wang Nu.
Yeah.
Me kashe Sherap Mambo me kashe Gupa dan jars. Then the me ka the Nampi Chu ma Shinken Yuribe. Tanda the Zambaling.
Yede.
The Kongi Chua. Nampi Chu ma Shinken Yure.
Yede.
Share up my Lanken Yuribe.
Shiro mekende yo mare.
So there are everyone has different capacities, and there are people who don't have the ability to even understand Buddhism alive right now. So I asked that question specifically when in terms of knowing, and Rinpoche always needs a specific question. It can't be abstract. So I asked a specific question. He said, yeah, there's people who don't have the ability to understand Buddhism alive right now because of karma.
Right. So they wouldn't be in the small capacity at all because they're not. They have no awareness of that.
No, the small capacity is an aspiration.
Okay.
That was what makes that person a small capacity. If they want to get out of the lower realms, and that makes them a small capacity practitioner.
Okay.
If what they're doing is to get out of the lower realms, then they're a small that's what qualifies them as that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
There's not a realization there. It's the qualification is the aspiration.
Hey Jeff, can you make a quick announcement on that new text?
I will. Oh, believe me.
On page 91 on the top, it says seeds of afflictions.
Yeah.
Is that...
Those are the
that-
obstructions to omniscience.
Right. I was going to ask, is seeds of afflictions has to do with karma and patterns? Patterns of behavior?
The Rinpoche. Pacha. Ngudri dan shidi pacha. The nyomong sopun. Shidi pacha.
Yomo be sabyo de yomo be bachas ni wares.
Then nyomo be sapun. Ngudri pacha, shidi pacha. Nika.
Yomo be sabyo de wode nyadig bacharo.
Nyomo.
Nyomo be sabyo yido, nyomo nyadiro. Nyomo be sabyo de nyadig bacharo.
Then nyomong sapun pacha, shidi.
Sabyo de bachal chaba yore.
Sopun dan pacha kakare. Okay. Let me look here. So we have to look at what the Tibetan is again in order to answer the question properly. Because in Tibetan, the word for seed and the word for imprint aren't the same thing. So there's a difference between those two in Tibetan language. You said where? 91? 90?
92.
92.
First.
Okay. I have to look it up in the Tibetan in order to know. 550. 550. 551 is where the Shrivaka level starts. Nyomo. Deang nyomo nyong. Nyunjur. Pombi. Chikten bilangi. Latona. Okay, so it's before that. Latoma je tingenzi sangong. Where is this? Just give me a moment. I'll find it. I promise. Detsgurimchi gomechi. Kongichiwa the becha. Yene nge ragu. The nyomon sopun. Seeds of the afflictions. Ravaka levels 550.
뭐 사면도 유모부 바자 고도 저 말be.
Yene the jikten le sheso. Okay. Jikten le. It's almost there. Nyomon sa. Nyensa. Okay, nyensa. I just had it. Nyomongi sapun. Here. Nyomongi sopun sawa
유모부
ne.
사면서는 유모부 째요 봐. 사면들한테는 유모부 째요 봐. 사면라 그래. 바자서 유모 줄에 째면 다좀 줄라 요래. 다좀 유모 본사로. 유모 바자요 그래. 시디 있어.
Then the gecha shidi.
시디 유모 바자 시디.
Yene the nyomon. The deyang nyomon nyunjur. Pombi jikten bi langi dropi. Latong dan nyomongi sapun sawa ne pombi jikten le tepi lang.
이든 되면 유모부 사면 사는 법 이든 되면 다좀 줄라 또 말봐. 그봐. 다좀 줄라 유모부 사면요 말해. 유모부 바자요 알았어. 시디 있어.
Okay. So nyomo bi sapun. Hold on, discus.
유모부는 유모부 사면 보면 참. 유모부는 유모부 바자 보면 참 말했어. 다좀 유모부 말해도 유모부 사면 바자 보면 말했어. 바자 시디 임베스.
Then the niji.
네 유모당 유모부 사면
Nyomo bi sapun. Yuna niji pacha yubicha. Niji pacha da nyomo bi sapun drapudu.
예배 맞아.
Okay, so in this case, when we look at these words, the imprint and the seed don't mean the same thing. So when we're looking at the seeds of the afflictions, furthermore, there are two kinds of insight: the insight proceeding by the mundane path, which eliminates manifest afflictions, and insight proceeding by the supermundane path, which eradicates the seeds of the afflictions. Dene the jikten la tepi lang nyomo pi sapon pongdu. Then nyomo pi sapon shidri yomare kakare.
유모부 사면도 녀디 잡아다버래. 유모부 사면 보나 녀디 유모 보는 유모 사면 보면 참. 바자 보면 맞아서. 바자 시디레스.
Okay. So if you eliminate the afflictions, if the afflictions are eliminated, then the seeds of the afflictions are eliminated. So if the seeds of the afflictions are eliminated, the afflictions are eliminated. But that doesn't mean that the imprints of those seeds are eliminated. So we can say that these seeds are similar in this case to, but not the same as the afflictive obstructions. But the obstructions to omniscience are referring to the imprints of those seeds. So in this particular case, seeds is not referring to imprints, which a lot of times they'll put seeds and mean imprints, but in this case they're talking about the afflictions themselves, the seeds of the afflictions, what gives rise to the afflictions, the actual direct cause, the seed of that affliction, the anger that gave rise to that anger, that seed, that specific. But the imprints of those seeds are not eradicated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I was just wondering if I could ask another question.
Sure.
In the mundane path,
Mm-hmm.
calmness and coarseness, are those feelings that one senses or perceives during meditation?
Okay, where is that in the text? I got to go right to the text for that one too.
Oh, okay.
I know,
Let's see.
I know. I just don't know that. I want to point it directly. Calmness and
Oh.
Calmness and coarseness. Thank you. 552. Khensur Triwa.
Around mundane insights. Mundane insight.
Yeah. I got 552. That. If you're a practitioner, your sharp capacities. I can find that. Wong Nu. Rai Namwa Chengi Latunsa. I'm in the middle of doing a question. You here? Yon, I think this is where it is. Gaia, either sustained or even interested. Okay, Rinpoche. He's gonna need to look at the book. The yang na, the shit ra, the gari.
Shira.
Yeah, shit ra. Did I lose it? Shit ra. Yang na, ne shit.
Shineji Nobajin.
Shit ra, ra.
Shira Nobajin.
The then the gomja na, the shit the yongdu, the gari Rinpoche. Khensur Chiwa.
Shira Nobajin.
Shiwa the.
Debala Raba. Kangomala Shiwa. Shiwa Tavat Shira Nobajin Lore. Zudu Zume Kang Shiwa. Could Dingan the Shichu draw Shiwa. Debal Dingan the Shichu Medan Raba. Shira Nobajin.
Okay, then the shewa, the zu dan zume kam, zukan dan zume kam, got it?
The New Yorkers.
So first of all, this calmness is something that is acquired when you reach the meditative level of form and formless realm. So this specific calmness is specifically a word that is connected to form and formless realm meditation. So then Rapa?
Raban Debala Raba the Kangomala Shiwa. Debala Raba Tagris.
The garde, the gomja, the yongudu?
Dingan the Shichu Medan Raba. Kangomani del Dingan the Shichu.
Kangoma?
Zukan the Zume.
Oh. Then Kangoma ma lena Rapa.
Raba.
So, and if one has not achieved the levels of form and formless realm, then this is referring to coarseness. So coarseness is an aspect of the Tingenzi Rapa, Tingenzi Yomare.
Tingenzi Raba Sana Diroda.
Then Tingenzi Rapa, Tingenzi Yin.
Tingenzi Raba, Tingenzi Roda.
Then Rapa this sama lap tugumare. That's more la.
Raba Sana
Rapa kam goma.
Debala Raba. Kangomala Shiwa. Debal Dingan the Shichu Medan.
Dukan Rapa.
Dukan Raba.
Ale.
Kangomani Shiwa. What the song?
Okay, so okay, that makes sense. So calmness refers to the meditations of the form and formless realm. Coarseness is the desire realm. So it's referring to something more than that. It's referring to specific aspects that occur in the form and formless realm meditation, and specifically coarseness refers to desire realm. This is because you either sustain the meditators. That's why this is really, really complicated, and I can't help out much more than that because I don't understand this stuff very well myself. So I can just translate. Dene ngatsu gomjana the shi dan rapa garche gari pentogudu gari the konsu the nyamlen kandre the drewa gare
다 신의 공개나 생담을 차는 거다. 돈이 라면 생담을 차는 거래. 돈이 라면 생담을 차는 나한테는 묘목을 녀부도 그러. 고바쳐요 알았어.
Then the shiwa the shiwa zukan dan zumekan the kan goma the drewa gare the gomjana then a zukan drogudu the konsu chiwa rimbache selpo yomare inchike selpo yomare. Then atsu gonjana, then kandre shewa, kandre rapa. Gutsusun, the selbudue.
단 너발라 라바스로 너발라 땡한테 세지면서 라바레스 라바. 땡도 강고만일 땡한테 세지면서 셔와. 산주 셔와.
Yang Shiragi Nampa Chengi Hlatong Sanshi Gombi Chiro.
시라게 나바지 사동동 공배시. 시라게 나바지
Then the Shiwa Hlatongare, Japa Hlatongare. The Sobiomare.
다 강고만이 그 사동 주로 어디 시위 나바지레스.
Okay.
데비 땡한테 두서 라비 나바지.
Okay, so the single pointed concentration that one then dupi tingenzi rapa?
라바.
Okay, so the single pointed concentration of the form and formless realm refers to calmness. Single pointed concentration in the desire realm refers to coarseness. So that's the final answer. So the coarseness is the single pointed concentration that has not reached the form or formless realm. It's still desire realm. So it's coarse. And then the calmness is that of the single pointed concentration of the form and formless realm. All right. So that makes more sense. Not really, but it makes, at least categorizes it to make more sense. So that's what these aspects, going back, bearing aspects of these meditations is what it's saying.
I just wanted to ask Rinpoche if he knew the story of Krudrapantaka. Maybe he could tell us about it.
Who's what?
Krudrapantaka? You know?
If I saw the Tibetan, the way you're saying it, let me see it.
Yeah.
Loju. Is it a Tibetan?
It's an Indian guy when the Buddha was around. It's like in that paragraph. Do you see it?
It's one of the original disciples of Buddha.
Yeah.
So I would need to know the Tibetan. I don't know. The Sudra Pantaka. The Shacha Tupa Getru Dru.
쿵한데.
Huh.
쿵한데.
Nga. The Chukor Tambo Getru Nga. Then the Sudra Pantaka. Sudra Pantaka is Sandrike.
The Indian name.
The Kong Getru.
Jahamir Shade.
The Buddha was.
구시고온드나.
Baby Kushkudana. Tatu.
Sudra Pantaka, the Chuda Pantaka. I know the whole story. Here. Yeah, I know the whole story myself. The Nandu Lajang Nangla Yure, the Sanjay, the Getru, Shera Gupa, then Kon the Samazu, then nga Sem dang Zupa Danjar, then Nima Dakpar Kon the Samazu, then the Sanjay Getru, the Loju Cheran Stingadue.
어떻게 요래.
The Kon the the Lan Chungo.
파발랑
Palan Chungo.
Palan
Palan Chungo Loju the Trironang.
파발랑 존스 파발랑
He's called the Arya of Small Road Arya.
그 파발랑
Chudapantaka.
Small road, are you?
Yeah, you'll find the whole story in the Liberation of the Palm of Your Hand. But Rinpoche may tell some of it.
파발랑 존스
Papa Lanchungar.
라가 추중질 되는 그 계시제 되는 지제는 안 라중고 투비 로주시야로
So there's a story of him achieving the state of a foe destroyer, going from. So there's a story of a monk who wasn't very smart, and he couldn't memorize things very well. And he would memorize a word, and then when he get to the next word, he'd forget the word he had just memorized. So the Buddha gave him a prescription to sweep. And said that when you sweep, and he slowly increased the meditation more and more that he taught him to do. He said, when you sweep, meditate and say, abandon dirt, abandon stains. So you start abandoning dirt. It was the first thing he taught him. Then he said, abandon dirt, abandon stains. Then he taught him to say, here, stains represent my afflictions. I want to get rid of them. So it grew, and he became a foe destroyer. And that's the story, if I'm not mistaken, of that monk.
Yeah, I like the revision better, but
Yeah,
yeah.
there's a lot of it. If you look in Liberation in the Palm of Your Hand, you'll find that.
It's like a Buddhist, teachings when he was alive.
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah, he was a student that was like in the monastery and was so dull-witted, they didn't know what to do with him. And he became a foe destroyer. Even though he was considered the dumbest one and made fun of, he achieved the highest realization.
Yeah, they even said that he became one of the Buddha's most respected disciples.
Yep.
Which is kind of happy ending.
Yep. Chudapantaka, the Arya Small Road, if you'll see it, his name is that too. Yep.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
But he's not among the first 5 disciples. That's different. Like the first turning of the wheel of Dharma that the Buddha gave, Chudapantaka is not in that group. It's different. It's one when Buddha's hanging around doing stuff, doing Buddha stuff. Came upon a real dumb guy. It's like Rinpoche and me, kind of. 98.
Thank you for the teaching and for translating. My question is about dependent origination and emptiness. I can understand dependent origination as an analytical meditation, like using Terry's example like of a flower to keep it kind of simple. But once you start to think about emptiness as a single-pointed meditation, what is it exactly are you focusing on? Like Scott was saying, like the imputation of the name?
Rinpoche. The Tingenzi Gom, the Dendel Gom, the Tombani Gom, Dendel, the Jutsen, Dendel Yin Bichap, the Chu Tamche Dendel Yin, Chu Tamche Tombani. The Shingadu, Yene, the Shine, Dang Tombani, Kandre Gom, Gangin Sene, the Mikpa, Tombani Mikpa, Natsu, the Sanlo Dango, the Dendel Yin Bichir, the Sanlo Dango. Then they Shine Gom, Tingenzi Gom, the Tombani Mikpa Gare, Mikpa Gare. Gangin Sene the Sanlo Dang Mare, Tingenzi Gom Sanlo Yomare, then the Mikpa Gare. Tombani Mikpa.
ting한지 메바들라는 내 ting한지 공에 그런 되버렸어. 내주바 눈도 줘버렸어. 내주바 소소소소게 공도야 메바 가르는 메네 공도 되거든요. 메바 가론 제달라 있는 글라자 버샤스. 메바 소소인 되바 예베 살메네 공도 되거든. 내 가르는 메네 공도 되거든.
Then Kongi Triwa, Tombani Gona, Mikpa, the Gare. Like, Sanlo Gare, Gangin Sine, the Sanjay Mikpa, Sanjay, the Kona Sanlo Dang.
동반이라 메네 산타나 동반이도 메바렌더로.
So it's emptiness. It's just the object of observation is emptiness. And it's only emptiness. There's no, it seems like it might be beyond like a way to describe it, It's a single pointed concentration on the object of observation that is emptiness. And it's only on that, and it doesn't require this thinking. It's just on the nature somehow. And he said that you see in text that a yogi can point his or her single pointed concentration towards any object of observation he or she wishes. Emptiness being an object of observation, then it is possible. It is serve as one. So what is there is emptiness. What is that? What you've taken everything apart, whatever is that there, that dependent origination, the thing, that essence, but it's not essence. It's a tough one.
Kind of a simple question, but I figured I wanted to ask it. What is the difference between love and compassion? Yeah.
Didn't we just do that?
Like, well, you
last
said
week or the week before, you
I
asked the same
Rinpoche
question.
what compassion was, and he was like, it's, having concern for, all sentient beings, wanting them happy. But then, doesn't that like the same thing as love? Like, you want people to be happy.
It's slightly different.
A little different.
Rimche, the Yanjer Suranang, the Shamba dan Ninji Chapagare.
Shamba dan Ninji Shamba. Shamba sana sentient taji chibu chungna nya be sanlo de shamba la ro ta.
So.
Ninji sana sentient taji donga de trena nya be sanlo senjun shila ninji la ninji.
So one is just wishing that sentient beings have happiness. The other, no, that's love. Love is wishing that sentient beings have happiness and the cause of happiness. Just overall wishing that they're happy. Compassion is taking suffering away, wishing that they're free from suffering. So, yes, someone who's happy is free from suffering, but it's slightly different. The object of observation of one is a person just being happy, and the other is someone who's suffering, wanting them not to be.
Kind of working to kind of benefit that person in a way?
Compassion is merely wanting them to be free from the causes of suffering.
Okay.
When you actively do something about it, then then it becomes engaged, but it's motivated by compassion.
Right. Okay. So
Motivated by wanting them to be free from suffering, the causes of suffering, so then you buy them lunch or something.
We like you said, we talked about this the other week. I came to the conclusion that you said was correct, was that compassion, wanting someone, taking their suffering, is like the reason why we engage in like the 10 virtues.
It's definitely
the 10 non-virtues. Okay.
It's why we engage, is in order to help sentient beings ultimately. As a Mahayanist, we do this in order to become Buddhas, to be of the best kind of being to help everyone.
So, basically, if you can't help them, don't harm them, type of deal.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely don't harm. Never harm.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe one or two more questions.
This actually isn't a question. It's just a little bit of help on the word mundane. Actually, going to the root, it really does mean worldly. It shares the same root as the Spanish word mundo and the French word le monde. So,
right on.
It is
etymology.
Yes, from the Latin.
Yeah, so there it is. That's why they chose mundane, because it does actually implicitly within it mean worldly. Thank you. I like that. Knowledge. Just erase some ignorance in my mind. This is cool. I just watched it go. Any more questions?
English degree.
Good job.
It's worth something, apparently.
Okay, so concluding mandal offering and dedication prayer. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And let's get enlightened this week. And I have an announcement, though, before we do this, because let's throw this into what we're dedicating. Rinpoche has accepted the responsibility of teaching Chandrakirti's Madhyamika Avatara the first Wednesday of the month. So He's going to be teaching the entrance to the Middle Way, which is a commentary on Nagarjuna's Mulya Madhyamika Karika, the root wisdom text, or the fundamental wisdom text. So, I'm sorry?
Say in Tibetan too. In Tibetan too.
Say what?
What you just said. In Tibetan, just so they can hear.
Rinpoche Uma Jupa, the Becha Chigore, Nang Uma Jupa, the Uma Sawa Shera Delpa, and Rinpoche, the Dawa Dakpar, Dawa Re Re Re, Uma Jupa Chigore. So we're very excited that to get this. We've requested it many times. It will be transmission and explanation, because I had said that there are parts of it that get quite complex that would be very difficult for me to translate. So those parts we'll do the best we can with. So thank you, everybody. Let's do the concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. Very excited about that upcoming teaching. And then, that's the other part. When Rinpoche is done teaching the Madhyamika Avatara, he's going to give us the transmission of Nagarjuna's Mulya Madhyamika Karika. So the Umajupa Sonchanasana Umitsawa Long Nangare. So when he's wondering what is he doing? That's what Rinpoche is wondering right now. Why is he talking in Tibetan? So that's once we're done with the teaching on the route, entrance to the Middle Way, Rinpoche will give us the transmission of Nagarjuna's Mulya Madhyamika Karika. So it's very exciting stuff. The Ngay de la son, the Chu, the Umajupa Chigare, the Umajupa Tsar, the Umitsawa Lung, the Nangare, the Khensur Sheda Gagudu. Okay. Now, concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. Fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drakpa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well. With whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the three times, I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All powerful Avalokiteshvara Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, the spiritual friend who trained extensively in great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tuji Rinpoche, Gusi Shapi Denronang.